That is what I call. Oop, that's what I call Moody Mia.
Moody Mia. That's from afar, it's not that bad, but when you're next to anyone who you feel like, okay, I need a break, they're they're moody. So welcome. Tonight is oh God, I don't even know the date. February 4th, 2024. Oh, David, I'm glad to see you did make it on. So hopefully you're feeling better. And let's see, is there someone named Sue on here? I don't see Sue. I'm looking through everyone here. I don't know who iPhone 292 Nicole is, but I don't think. Oh, I know who that is. Duh. I know who that is. So okay, I was expecting a Sue to be here tonight, and I met her through Eileen, actually. So Eileen had a roommate named Sue who got to go home, and we kind of all became like fast friends, and she was hoping to make it on tonight. So maybe she'll listen to the recording of this. And if she does, we're just going to send all of us just send Sue lots of healing and love and nourishment, as well as continue to send to Eileen. So my Dharma talk, well, because of you, Yvette, this fantastic mug, Jack works for Yvette and her husband Vincent at Wellness at Your Home. For those of you in the area, you should go and check out their massage chairs because it really is like an actual massage. And she wrote me a note, and Jack said he wanted to record me opening this, but I said, absolutely not. You're not recording me because I am lucky that I showered at all this weekend because I've been doing statistics work. I'm not kidding. I put 20 hours since Friday in on this statistics. So it was perfect when he came home and Yvette bought me a mug that says, fuck statistics, with a note that says, I love all your classes, but the fuck statistics meditation is one of my favorites. And I cannot tell you what a welcome break this was, because I am going to 100% always remember this class. And now I will be so relieved every time I drink straight vodka out of this is what I need after this class. I am not kidding you guys. Thank you, Yvette, for that. And Jack's like, I need to record you. And I was like, listen, Yvette will understand why I don't want to be recorded because I'm a mess. I couldn't even put makeup on today. No. All I have to say is thank God for tutors. That's all I have to say. That and ChatGPT. I'm not even kidding. And ChatGPT doesn't give you answers for statistics, by the way. It tells you how to run tests, and my tutor is all about it. So I'm not cheating by using it. In fact, it's the only way I'm learning. But on that note, my Dharma talk is all about kind of weighing the balances because of this class of when you go through something really difficult. Now, in this case, I am not equating what I'm going through with this class to like a big life event like death and divorce and somebody being sick or, the big things in life. However, this is heavy in my life right now. So anytime you're going through something heavy relative to whatever's going on in your life, the only thing that the only thing that's getting me through is the light at the end of the tunnel being very guided missile to February 23rd, which then that and the fact that I have not thrown something out the window like my computer and finding people who can support you, tutors, classmates, and realizing that like this thing will be over and this will pass. And I know it's silly and stupid because it's statistics, it's a class. But as I look at how I approach this class, I can start to see how I work through life and bringing it to all of you. I want you to pay attention to those difficult times in life, who and what got you through, and also to remember, like, have that reminder that we do get through these things. And I might be rocking in a corner afterwards. I have nothing but absolute vile hatred for my professor, which I'm working on. I promise I'm really trying to enter into a space of love and compassion for her. I have not found that yet. If I do, I will report it to this group ASAP. I have the opposite. I have vile anger. So I'm dealing with that. But the whole point is kind of zooming out and getting perspective of, we really do get through hard things. Like Glennon Doyle says, like, you could do hard things. We really do get through them. We push through them. We cry through them. I've cried to more poor tutors in the last 3 weeks, and all of them have been incredible human beings, and they are statistics majors, and I'm crying to them, literally crying, going, I don't understand this. And they've been warm. So who are your people? Where do you go? Internally, externally? And the big thing is that you do it, you keep going, and this too will pass. These are the big things that I'm trying so hard to take away from this class, because I'm done. I'm done. I'm losing my ever-loving mind over it. I couldn't even put like mascara on for you guys tonight. I was like, I'm not doing it. I can't. I literally, I didn't even brush my hair. I did shower though this morning. So Dharma talk is, give yourself credit for what you do accomplish. Notice how you accomplish things as you move into the next phase. And if you're not in one of these phases, take a moment of gratitude for yourself and for the moment or whatever life is offering. Like, right now is a smooth moment, and relish in those smooth moments. So I've been looking forward to this all week. This, my treadmill, and morning meditation are the only things that are getting me through this. Well, and my tutors, and the fact that Greg just keeps bringing meals up and running away out of fear. So on that note, not that's not a joke. On that note, I currently have a 94 though, by the way. Ergo, I currently have a 94. So I'm working my ass off to understand something that I will never touch again. I promise. I'm never touching it again. Never. Never. And if I do, I'll donate $10,000 to St. Jude's, which doesn't really sound generous, does it? If I'm saying it. Anyway, let's transition to our meditation tonight together. We'll see what comes up from this one. I'm going to be digging deep into my own soul tonight. So go ahead and get yourselves into your meditation positions, whatever that looks like for you. Set my timer. And then when you're settled and you're ready, you can go ahead and close your eyes. And really settle into this moment. You've all had busy and eventful weeks, or week since last time we met. And just sort of rewind and review your week in reverse and then fast forward. Bring your attention to the moment you woke up this morning. And walk yourself through this day. What did you do or not do? And be very mindful of your inner dialogue, not sabotaging and not telling yourself that you did something too much or too little, but instead just report the facts to yourself of this day. And then walk yourself through your day right up until the point that you got yourself ready to come on to this meditation. And be aware of the state of your mind as you set yourself up for our group in this moment. Maybe you were harried and rushed. Maybe you were looking forward to our time. Maybe you weren't going to attend and last moment you did. And now bring all of your awareness and your presence to the fact that you are here, right now. Showing up for yourself and for your highest well-being. And then notice your breath and see if you can bring your breath down into your belly. And if you can't bring it into your belly, don't judge your breath or breathing, just observe. If your breath is just up into your chest, that's fine. And then observe your breathing. There's no right or wrong. There's no good or bad. Simply observe how your body is taking in and exchanging oxygen and releasing. Let your presence begin to settle into your body and use your breath as the metronome for your brain. Begin to notice the back of your body touching your chair or your bed or the floor, wherever you're sitting. Feel the contact of your body. Let your shoulders naturally drop with your next exhale. And let your cheeks and your muscles in your face just relax with your next exhale. Relax your tongue. Relax your abdomen. And let yourself just exist in this moment. Anytime a thought comes up, notice the thought and bring yourself right back into your body. And let your breath set the tempo. And continue to sink into this moment. And the mind might want to rush things, or the mind might want to think. The mind might get distracted by external noises. Observe the mind, notice what it's doing, where it wants to go, and allow it to just be. And then you direct your mind to your breath over and over. Give yourself full permission to just be right now. There's more to this journey, but we won't lift off the journey until we are a little bit more settled in ourselves in this moment. We're basically giving ourselves complete and full permission to do nothing. Ever so gently, I want you to begin to prime and pump your imagination. Begin to imagine that you're walking through a forest on a cool, cool night. You have very good boots on your feet that are keeping you warm. Your footsteps are even heavy as they step and break little bushes or branches, step on leaves, rocks, gravel. Maybe you're walking in the snow. The air is cool, but it's not cold. You're dressed appropriately enough to feel invigorated by the cool temperature outside. Imagine yourself walking deeper and deeper into this forest. And there's a guiding light high above the treetops because it's a giant full moon. And imagine that full moon is so luminous, it almost appears like the sun. But it's moonlight peering through the tops of the trees that barely have any leaves on them. And you can look out into the sky through the trees and see stars. The entire sky is dark but peppered with these illuminated stars that you can see even though the moon is so bright. And allow yourself to feel and enjoy and imagine the freedom you are feeling as you are walking deeper into the forest. There's no getting lost in this forest. You're going deeper and deeper into yourself, into your solitude and inner quiet. And let yourself feel yourself as you walk, hearing each footstep. Notice if there's a defined path that you're following or if you're making your own. Neither one is right or wrong. In a moment, just stop by a tree and use the tree and hold on to it for balance. And imagine you can see the cold breath as you breathe out. And be very still, looking up at that moonlight And then looking all around you, deep in this forest. And imagine you can hear something moving in the distance. And your instincts know that you are safe. Let this curiosity of what that noise is, where is it around you? Listen to the sound of silence in this forest, and the only thing you can hear is this noise in the near distance. Again, you're safe, and your inner self knows you are safe, and it actually turns towards this noise, and you begin to walk off your path and towards the noise. And notice if any fear comes up within you, because there's a level of uncertainty. That noise, fear is normal. But dip back into yourself, into your intuition, and remind yourself you are totally safe. And allow your curiosity of the unknown to lead you and draw you forward. Imagine this part of the forest is thicker. Maybe you have to step around and through more narrow pathways. And allow this energy or consciousness of adventure move through you. There's absolutely no way you can be harmed or unsafe. So allow this curiosity, this excitement to replace the fear. Notice how often the mind wants to draw you back into fear or nerves. Let your heart and your feet lead the way. Keep walking towards the noise, whatever it is you're hearing. Maybe you even have a suspicion already of what it could be. Maybe you have no idea. As you get closer, notice the forest opens just a little bit, and the source of this noise is right in front of you. Take a snapshot of what's happening. Is it an animal? Is it a person? Is it a branch scraping against something else? No matter what you're finding and seeing, allow yourself to move through it. Maybe you're not sure still what you're seeing. Just use your imagination. And then ask the source of this noise why it got your attention. What is here for you to see and to know, to observe, to meet? Why were you led to this place right here, right now? Allow the source of the noise to share with you that, in addition to what it has explained to you already, you were meant to be in this clearing right here, right now. And imagine that you look up and you see a feather, just a lone feather falling from the sky, almost looking like it's moonlight itself, falling down right in front of you, and let the feather land either in your hand or at your feet. And then as soon as you fix your eyes on this feather, imagine a presence, an energy, a bright light is felt behind you. And this light, while you can't see it because it's behind you, it is illuminating the forest in front of you in the clearing. You can get a better sense of where you are and what your surroundings look like. And let yourself slowly turn around to the white light. And imagine yourself just naturally gravitating towards the white light and leaning in for a huge embrace. And you might feel a being that you are hugging. You might be able to identify the being as someone you know, physically still here, someone who's passed. You might not be able to identify. See if you can get a sense if this person or being is male or female, or even human at all. The most important piece is this embrace, where you almost feel like you can fall into the energy itself of pure safety, pure support. Imagine that as you fall into the embrace of this being, imagine you're able to let go of any and all emotion that has not been able to be released or moved in your body. Imagine emotions as deep and as long ago as you can remember. Imagine these emotions come up and out of your body. Maybe you cry or yell or emote, or maybe nothing happens, but just know that this release of energy is happening in your body, and that white light being is absorbing and pulling all of it away from you. You don't have to cry or yell to release. Just know that you are. Imagine all of this old energy that just is not vibrant. It's stale, it's stuck, it's muddy energy for whatever reasons. Just imagine it's expunged out of you. Imagine it's almost like tar or glue or whatever visual comes to you, and watch it as it is pooling to the ground. And as soon as it hits the forest floor, it gets absorbed and the earth will take it to recycle it for good. Imagine your organs themselves getting cleansed and cleared, cleaned. Imagine all of this energy pouring out of all of your pores. Into disconnect your body and pulling it away from that junk that's coming out. Begin to feel or imagine yourself just automatically lighter. It's like if all of that stuff was glue. Imagine yourself stepping out of and away from the glue. The being of light that is with you is now able to penetrate into your body even more, allowing the flicker of your own essence to get ignited brighter and brighter. There's nothing getting in its way for illumination. Imagine your body is getting stronger and brighter. It might even get warmer and warmer as it's getting hotter and hotter, because the light of the soul is able to burn brighter. Imagine that you can feel yourself almost growing taller. Imagine your energy field goes a foot, 10 feet, 50 feet, or as much as you can imagine beyond your body. And allow yourself to step out of the energy field of this clearing. Step away from all that you released. Begin to walk or float or fly or ascend to another part of the forest, and the white light being comes with you, but you are removing yourself quite literally from the energy of all that you released. Let the earth use that energy and transform it. While you completely step out of it. Let yourself imagine you're lighter as you move through the forest. Notice the clearing of trees opens up, and there's a very specific path for you to walk on. Notice your footsteps are not as heavy, and there's nothing breaking underneath your steps as you walk. It's almost as if you are gliding through the forest. And follow the light of the moon. And imagine yourself just moving naturally towards that moonlight. And walk yourselves into a new scene. Watch where you go. Notice. Could be a completely white room. Could be a place in your past. It could be your present. It could be an unknown place or a favorite vacation place. Just watch as you glide through the forest and you end up in a completely different location, or the same forest that looks and feels completely different. Allow yourself to be still in this new environment. And if it doesn't feel right to you for whatever reasons, keep walking, keep gliding until you are in a space that just feels right, whatever that means to you. And in this space, allow yourself to become aware of what lifts and lights your energy. Who or what? There's no one answer. Just notice what comes to you. No thinking about it. Allow something to just arrive in your mind. And if you hear the mind saying, I don't know, just push the thought away. And what lights and lifts your energy? Maybe it's music, maybe it's art, maybe it's being alone, maybe it's dancing, friends, it's reading, maybe it's your work, maybe it's your children, your spouse, friend. It can be the smallest of things and the biggest of things. There's no right or wrong. And just set your focus on what lifts you, what lights you. Notice how much time do you offer or give to yourself, engaging in that or those things that lift you. And how can you bring them into smaller pieces of your day? And begin to imagine that scenery that you're in begins to turn into the room that you are in right now. And recall again what lights you up, what lifts you, what ignites your energy, makes you brighter. And do not allow your mind to tell you how you cannot do those things or why you cannot. We're focusing only on the things we can do. And as you begin to come back into your body in this time, remind yourself to say goodbye to whatever you released in the beginning. Make a note of an energy or an experience that you expelled from your body and say goodbye to it. Remind it that it is not welcome back. And begin to fall into your body in this moment and wiggle your fingers and your toes when you're ready, and only when you're ready. And stretch and twist when you're ready, and only when you're ready. When you're ready, and only when you're ready, you can open your eyes. Let yourself come completely back into the room. When you're ready, you can turn on your lights if you want. And then show of thumbs up, middle, or down. Just show me how you felt about that one when you're ready to. Up, 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 down, up, middle, middle. It's also when I stop some people's videos in case you're sleeping. Up, middle, up, up, up. All right, that's decent stretch. Middle, saw that. So, a couple of things I'm interested in, if you remember them. You don't have to share all of them, but I'm interested in the noise in the forest. Your feeling about the noise, like how many of you were nervous about being in the forest and then nervous about the noise, even though I was saying you're safe, you're safe. That's, yeah, Kelly, I see you there. Mare, anyone want to share that? Let's stop right there. That's a big piece. How many of you did feel nervous, unsettled, fear, some sort of unpleasant emotion going towards the noise, or even being in the forest itself, and then going towards the noise, even though I said you're safe? How many felt apprehensive? I was saying it to you and I was feeling like, okay, lead them forward, sure. So I was feeling apprehensive even though I was saying to feel safe. Anyone want to share that experience? That was 36 minutes long, by the way, that meditation. All right, so we moving towards the noise. How many of you could like get a clear sense of what that noise was? Was it an animal? Was it a person? Was it something totally else? And anyone want to share on that? By the way, my drink looks like it's like a alcoholic drink, but I'm extending my dry January into a dry February. And so these are a non-alcoholic curious elixirs. If you've seen them on Facebook, because that's where I saw it on a Facebook ad. They're like healthy, calm drinks. And they're not bad. But anyway, yeah, Jill, go ahead.
So I couldn't hear the noise really. I was totally safe. I knew Deborah says I'm safe, I'm safe. So I got to
Love
this,
that.
yeah. So I got to the clearing and there was a roaring fire and there was pounding monsoon rain raining down onto the fire because I
Wow.
couldn't get away from the sound of the rain. It's monsoon here. So, but the fire was there. And I just got the line, opposites can exist together.
Ooh, I love that.
Yeah, I didn't, I did too. I thought, well, that's profound. It didn't really connect with anything for me right now, but I still liked it.
Mm-hmm.
So then my wonderful being of light came and embraced me, and all of the crap from my childhood of being ashamed of having feelings or needs or being ashamed of wanting love and everything that my mother laid on me just came out, out, out. And then I just felt, oh, then the thing that was like, what, I forgot the words you used, but it was what you're, what keeps you moving or what keeps you moving through life
I
or
don't remember either.
well, it was the thing that keeps you alive and joyful or whatever. And so that was my heart, of course, and it just got bigger and bigger, and then it went boop, 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 boop up my, um, up the, what do you call
Chakras.
it? Chakras, yeah.
Yep.
And then we just danced off together and we skimmed over the trees of the forest until we got to this place of massive waterfalls, just
Mm.
huge thundering waterfalls. And then we floated down the river a little and just landed in a spot where there were jungle waterfalls, just nice.
Mm.
And that was it. It was
Oh, that's
beautiful. I loved it.
beautiful. You made me it's gonna sound like a question that's like out of the blue, but like when do you go to Kauai? Is that soon?
Ah, May 21st.
May 21st. That's my niece's birthday.
Oh,
So okay, so I was like, "Oh, I wonder if she's gonna be at Kauai like this month." So maybe there's
I was thinking about it before I got on here.
maybe that's why I'm asking about
Yeah.
it. Because well, you were mentioning waterfalls and then I'm seeing Kauai. And I went to Kauai and I don't remember seeing waterfalls. That doesn't mean they're not there, of course, but it's not an
Yeah,
association, but I did pop in my brain there.
I don't remember seeing photos of them either,
Yeah,
but
I don't,
but
but
it was
there must be.
tropical and jungle, and we all
Beautiful.
know that's the best.
It sure is. So, how do you feel right now after that experience?
Very light, calm, open,
Mm,
just yeah, light.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Who else wants to share? Any piece, all pieces? Who was raising their hand a moment ago? Kelly, were you raising your hand? I know you raised your hand in the beginning with fear, but were you raising your hand to share or no?
I will if you want somebody to.
Sure.
Now, mine was very similar to Jill. I was typing in the thing. My sound was an owl. I was in the beginning fearful, like, oh, but then same thing, like, okay, Deb's not going to lead us anywhere terrible. And no, since I had a fire in the clearing, I had a fire also, and at the end of it, I envisioned turning into another owl, like with the owl. And then it was like I didn't go back to walking. It was soaring, and landing
Ooh.
like way up on the trees. And then at the end, it was like overlooking a beautiful lake.
Ooh.
So similar. And my great grandma's thing was owls, but I think that's really what that, like I was trying to leave my brain out of it, but like I was like, oh Nana, 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 stand the energy for me. So
Wow. And it's so funny. In the middle of the whole thing,
mm.
I all of a sudden had a thought that came across my brain of like, oh, you've got to check in on Kelly's mom. Like, ask her how her mom's doing. So
Oh,
that came
thank
in through
you.
there.
Yeah. She's getting there. Thank you. She's home, but she's not herself at all,
Lot.
So
Oh
it's a
gosh.
lot, So
Yep.
thank you for asking. But
I was thinking
we're
like, oh, Kelly's week was a lot. Like
it
that
was
thought came through my
oh
brain.
my god. We had an actual like thank God it didn't turn out to be a shooter, but somebody heard gunshots near our school this week. So we went on lockdown and it was like right during drop off. So it was just terrifying because it was a lot of like good to test the system, I guess, but also really scared. Like you really, I felt, especially believe it or not, for the bigger kids, because they know, you know, they understood what was going on, and they were
Oof.
asking big questions, and it was like, how do I keep calm? How do I keep, help them stay calm? And that was probably like the roughest part of the week, But,
Oof. God, that's
yeah.
did you write about that on Facebook? I feel like
Yes,
you
he said,
did.
what was
Okay.
the win? Because even so, there was a
Yes.
win
Okay.
in it because, like, I mean, like 3 or 4 of them. It happened to be that they had the most shelter in place in the cafeteria because that's where the drop-offs are, and my classroom was literally right next door. And as soon as we knew it was relatively safe enough that we could, like, at least be in the building safely, I said, let me go. And I just grabbed as many puzzles and Play-Doh and markers and paper. And I just filled up and brought it all in. And I said, okay, that way they were distracted, like the kids were distracted. But like 3 or 4 of the big kids came to me during, I said the big kids, the 5th graders, but they came to me during the rest of the day and popped in and said, I just wanted to say thanks for making me feel better. You made me feel safe before. And I was like, oh my God, it's so
Wow.
sad that, like, you know what I mean? It's like so sad that the kids have to feel that way. But I'm glad that I was there to help them feel better, though.
Wow, I'm getting chills through my whole body just hearing it. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's a
it's,
really
it's sad.
bizarre reality in our world.
Yeah, bizarre that we have to be ready for things like that.
Yeah,
But
not in our
but
world, in our country.
in our country and world,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So anyway, so yeah, thank you though. Thanks for asking. It was a rough week. This week will be better.
This week will be better for sure. You'll have your owl self.
My owly self,
Yes.
exactly.
Wow, and then to be led through fear a little bit tonight was pretty
Yeah.
wild.
I'm not big on, which I wish I was more, but I'm not the, even during the daytime, let me go take a walk in the forest type.
Mhm.
Like I would like to see that person, but
Yep.
I don't know. It has to be a real manicured path.
Right. Real clear. Wow. Well,
So,
I like the owl and the floating and the soaring. So we'll stick to that visual. And what was it that um I forget how I asked it too, but like that lights you up. What was that?
right. I almost felt like I was one step ahead because you said it might be art, it might be music, and it was it's art and
Of
music for
course.
me, and I do those together. And it's like I do have that dedicated time once a week because I have an art class, an art group. Anybody ever wants to join, feel free. Who's close by? We paint on Wednesdays, but I do
Amazing.
often though say, well, like there's the call of let me go down there even though it's not Wednesday night. You know what I mean? I tend to only be like, no, that belongs on Wednesday. So I can go down there whenever I want. So
Right.
that's a thing to remember. Down to my little studio downstairs. So
That's a good one. That's a
it's a
good
good
one.
one.
Art
Easy
and
enough.
music expression.
Hmm.
All
Music
right, thank you.
especially. Music can just bring you right up.
Music is a very well, I mean, ETA was all about it, but it's the
Mhm.
number one, well, not the number one thing, but it is the fastest or one of the most accessible things we have for us to lift our vibration or to bring it down too.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're too hyper and we need to bring it down, or sometimes we feel really
Calm.
sad and we need to feel sad, so a song will bring us there. So
Yeah.
yeah, song music is definitely the best
I was
shifter of our
listening
energy.
to some podcast and they were asking like spiritual questions. I think I found it from Jen going on Next Level Soul. I was like, oh, this is a good podcast. But they were asking a different medium, basically saying, do spirits are on the other side listen to music? Do they enjoy music? And I was like, huh, I never thought about that before. But then it got me thinking, like, well, how could they enjoy music if there's like they don't have their senses anymore?
Mhm.
I don't know, it's all different. Not to like derail the
Love it.
train.
That's
But
a great
anyway.
question, though. That is.
So I don't know. Yeah. So, but music anyway, uplifting. Good stuff.
It really is. And also music, as a reminder to all of us, music, sometimes it's uplifting, but it's also downlifting, but sometimes we need to feel sad, so sad music's good. Or sometimes we need to feel angry, so angry music is good. So it amplifies whatever we are feeling, or it has the ability to, I should say. So it's a powerful tool. All right, who else wants to share any weird things that came up? Any like, oh, that was just strange that I experienced that or saw someone, a guide, a I had a guide that came through that was I was like, I don't know who you are. This is cool. This is new. And I was getting her name and then I was going to have everyone think of a name and I'm like, no. No, that's too much thinking to see if the names of our guides would come up, but I was ixnayed on that one when I had that idea. And it was like, no, don't make them think. So anyone else want to share any piece? Anyone who hasn't shared in a while? I feel like I want to call on certain people, but I don't want to scare you all. Let's see. Who was just raising? I feel like I am drawn to you, Christine. Do you feel like you knew that I was? I feel like we had this like thing going on.
As soon as Kelly said music, I'm like, oh, here we go. Yeah, mine's music too. And I last week I think I slept through most of it. And this week I was like, I'm gonna stay awake. I'm gonna stay with her. And I got into the forest and I didn't hear a noise. But then I got enough of the toward the end or whatever with what drives me and it's music and everybody that knows me knows about the drumming. And I've been seeing a neurological chiropractor
Ooh.
who does like these neurological scans from your whole spine, and every 12 sessions she does another one. And when she found out that I do drumming, she said that it changes your neurological pathways. Like
Mm.
music definitely it has a scientific effect on your body. It has a real effect on your body. So when Kelly said, as soon as she said music, I'm like, yeah, I had drumming tonight. And my regular instructor's in Florida taking lessons with some master drummers down there. So her ex-husband, Wayne, took the class over tonight. So it was a totally different vibe in the class, but he's a master drummer. Like, he's amazing. And it was so much fun for him to be with a group of students again, because he does so much higher level stuff. But yeah, so there is a neurological component to music, and especially not just listening to it, but even if you're drumming on your steering wheel, or humming along to something, or air guitar, like doing something physical with it, even if you can't play an instrument, but if you can dance, movement and music does change the neurological pathways.
I
So,
love
and then
it.
yeah, and then I've got rid of judgment, which is I'm still getting through the first part of the year, the intentions. And
Mm.
so so music drives me, and I still have to stop being so judgy.
Yep.
That's
Are the
never
judgy moments judgy like I'm asking a broad question. I'm not going to ask you like specifically, what are you judging? It more broad, like making assumptions about people, judgy, just generally, or judgy, um, like specific judgy, meaning like I'm judgy about my professor, like where I'm, ah, uh, so is it more generalized judgment? I mean, it's probably both because we do all of it. But can you identify that?
it's a little bit of both, but since Christmas break, I have a handful of parents
Mm.
of my students that it's like it's easier for me to just not communicate, because it's not making a difference, and just doing extra for their kids because
Oof,
they're not getting it there.
got it.
So, and I try not to judge them, because we're a poor district and they all have their own stories, but they're 5 and 6.
Right.
So
Oh,
yeah,
so heartbreaking.
yeah. And Kelly, I'm glad it's horrible that we do that and have to be ready for that, and be calm in the face of, oh my God, what's going on. So
Yeah, and that's I'm glad you brought that back up too, Christine, because that's energy that got stuck in your body. Because anytime we have any emotion that we weren't expecting, so that could be joy too, an influx of joy. influx of fear, influx of whatever, that's energy that needs to be moved and expressed in the body. So even though you're like, no, I feel better now, the body still needs to catch up to that. That's any kind of sudden, well, that's any emotion, but any kind of sudden, unexpected emotion gets kind of trapped in the body in different patterns. So it's important to recognize that and give yourself time to expunge it somehow. Through dancing will be a great way. All right, who else? Who else wants to share or have questions? Anyone see a loved one who's passed or greeted by a loved one? Yvette and Sherry? Anyone see like a guide or a being or a saint or an angel or something like that that you weren't sure? You did too, Yvette? Do you want to share Yvette, or you don't, yeah.
So I tend to have 4 guides that I feel very strongly are just around me all the time. It's 3 loved ones and an angel. So I feel like I sound crazy in here, but here
Not
about
here.
that. Yeah. Don't share that with too many people. But my first reading with you, you actually said to me that you thought I was a lot older because I had 3 significant losses. And yeah, you were like, I thought you'd just be older because you felt them immediately. And you actually called them my guides. So it started with you, feeling like they
Wow.
were, yeah. And then the angel came in through Deb Sheaf, actually, doing her Reiki,
Magic.
and yes.
Yes.
And it's funny because I feel like I've progressed through meditation where I've wanted them so badly to be there, and now they're kind of like, it's like almost funny, like, okay, we're here. And I feel that. I feel comfort
Yeah.
knowing that I'm not necessarily looking for all the answers or anything so significant in each meditation. It's just peaceful. They're here. Yeah, kind of have like my crew.
No, I love that. It's nice when we don't need or don't have that sense of like, show me the way, give me the,
Yeah,
tell me, anything so intense.
right.
It's just kind of like it's nice when we're at that space of like, almost like, oh yeah, that's right, you guys are here.
That's how it felt. Yes.
Yeah.
Even the last one, I was like, okay, yeah, it's kind of funny. And especially with my dad, it's kind of like, okay, how many more times can I show up?
Yes. I love it.
Like you're on the right path. I wasn't looking for a path. I know there was a part where you were guiding us through, and I was like, I'm just going. It's a nice place to be for a change.
Big time.
Yeah.
It's a really nice place to be, especially if you allow it.
Yeah,
When
sure.
because so many times we're not used to having that, I've got to do this, that when we just allow ourselves to like be like, yeah, I'm just going, I'm following the flow, that's usually the next part of that journey is we stop the flow because we're like, oh, I need to be striving for something, or I need to be worried about something. And then we realize, no, I don't. I'm just showing up as I'm being. This is quite literally what being is about. So nice. So thank you, Yvette. And yeah, Jen, did you see a feather? I did mention a feather.
Yeah, I was very much in and out of it. I do remember going into the woods. I wasn't fearful of going into the woods. I actually kind of liked it. It was like nighttime, and I remember seeing the moon over the tops of the trees, like the empty trees, but no, just now around this time of year. Um, I don't remember much. And then I was trying so hard. I know it was sort of like drifting in and out, but at one point I heard you say something about a feather. So I was picturing like this white feather, like from Forrest Gump, kind of floating
Mhm.
around.
Yes.
And then I don't remember much after that. Then you said something about a light soon after the feather, right?
Yep.
And then that's it. It was almost like I got to that point, like, oh, here we are, but we're not going to let you see this now. Again, again.
And close curtain.
Close the door.
And scene.
Yes, exactly. But
Oh
yeah.
my goodness. Yeah, I did. It was kind of like Forrest Gump style now that you mention it, because I saw a feather and I was like, oh, look at that. It's a feather. And I was taught as a kid, like feathers would kill me. Like I was taught that feathers were so dirty, I would catch every disease if I touched it. So I was raised like feathers are the devil, quite literally. So, did anyone else have that like programming? Okay, thank you. I'm so glad because I mean it was like the devil would come and get you if you touched a feather and you would die and you would contaminate the whole family. It's super weird. So, and I know they're dirty, but whatever. It was really extreme. So when I saw the feather, I was putting my hands out in the meditation and my old conditioning popped up and I'm like, you can't catch that. You can't catch that feather. So I'm like, let it fall in your hands or on the ground. That's why I gave everyone an option because my own conditioning was still like, you touch that feather, everyone's contaminated. So just letting everyone know that's where that little line came in because I was like, oh my God, the spiritual feather, I'm gonna die. But I did catch it. I did. I was like, no, I want to catch it, but I also saw it on my foot. Anyway, anyone else have anything with the feather? I'm glad some of you
Is
have
that
that
like a
condition.
generational thing? Because I had to like really like they're not right. Like
You did,
my
right?
yes, like random fears of like I don't know. Are they that dirty? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, and then of course I kind of pass that on to my kids when they were little, but
Mhm,
you tell a little boy you can't touch a feather. They were
mhm.
basically plucking them out of birds, you know what I mean? Like I couldn't stop them.
I catch myself actually because and Alex is very into nature and everything. And like he'd bring home things. So he one time brought home from camp, I'm not even joking, a bone, like a deer. I think he found it was a deer bone. And I was like, it's like, you know, but like it was definitely conditioning of like, oh, these are gross, these things are dirty. But yeah, no.
I don't know.
For,
It's
for us, it was money. Don't ever
Oh,
touch money and put your fingers in your. So
yeah.
during
Mhm.
when I was starting to get spiritual, there was a guy named Leo Sunshine, and his trainings, he would have people put bills into their dollar bills into their mouths to get over the idea that money was dirty.
oh, wow, that's a good one. Although that's a good practice, but I don't know that I could do that. And I'm not a germaphobe. Like I'm not germophobic, but that one would be like, ooh, oh, but that's a good
Yeah.
one.
So yeah, it took a lot, but people did. I wasn't there, but I heard people did that.
That tonight we're gonna have that on our minds. Lick the dollar. Go ahead, lick the dollar.
And we
He's
wore
funny.
t-shirts that said Radiant Being on them.
Ooh, what workshop was this?
Leo Sunshine, it was back in the 70s when everybody was starting to get very spiritual in my world
When
anyway.
everyone was so much cooler. Yeah. I love it. Yeah, what are some of those old folklores, right? You could think of them like the car will crash if the light goes on, you know what I mean? Like if you turn the light on, the
Uh,
overhead light in a car, that was another one that I thought I will send the whole car into a ditch if I if I turn the light on. So, and that one I allow my kids. I'm like, sure, read a book, bring a lamp. Mommy can drive with light on. It's gonna be fine. I don't say mommy, they're adults now. Anyway,
also trains. Trains were very dirty. I learned as a little person, and my parents and I would go up to kind of near your area, like Westchester, the southern part of your guys' area, I guess.
yep.
And I'd have my hands everywhere on the seat, on the windows, and that was really bad.
Yeah,
Really filthy germs.
it's so true. Oh my God. God, I hope we don't implant this into our brains for bedtime. Oh my gosh. All right. Anyone else see anything in meditation or experience something that you want to share? Who is the other Laura? I think were you raising your hand before, Laura?
No, but I was kind of thinking maybe I'd talk.
Okay, great. Go ahead.
Um, the noise I heard was very loud purring, and it was Black Panther and a baby Black Panther, which was interesting, and I was not scared at all. Um, I was kind of in and out also. But although when you mentioned the feather, I remember the feather when you said it. I the thing that was bringing me the light or whatever it was that we were kind of seeking, it was water, and it was kind of like in a tropical pond with a waterfall, which is kind of my go-to. Very kawaii, by the way. But the part where you had us getting rid of whatever it was, I can't even remember. I felt very like I wanted to cry, but I didn't cry, which is weird for me. I don't normally, like, I have no problem crying. And then at the end, I feel like I came back and I kind of just feel melancholy, which is also weird because I'm not, I don't know.
Mm-hmm. So in the meditation, you didn't cry, you mean?
No, yeah, no, I felt like I wanted to and I would, and I often do, but this time I just didn't. It felt like it was there, but just didn't come out. And just, I mean, I feel calm, but I also feel, but I think it's been because I have had like depression, but it's been like 2 years since I've had it. So I don't know. I also just had a birthday, which was not necessarily great because it's a, ugh.
Oh my gosh, happy birthday.
Thank
Can you
you.
ask what was it like a big one, as they say?
Well, 55. So it's a weird one because
Yeah.
you're like, oh my God, I'm freaking old. But yet, I mean, but not, but yet, yeah, but it's a weird place to be.
Mm-hmm.
I had no problem. 50, 51 was hard for me. But yeah, 55 is I don't know. I had actually fun birthday, but yeah, I don't know. I think because it's, just, as I've mentioned before, I'm in this like transition phase, and I don't know. I think it's dark in Seattle. Like I don't know.
Yeah, it's
But
a conglomeration of things. Can or do, I'm not sure how I want to phrase the question, but you mentioned I'm calm. I'm calm. You said it a couple times, and then you said melancholy. So there are times when I want to say like nothing is going on, but I mean nothing, not like details of life, but like the nothingness of our lives. Like I'm not necessarily driven towards anything, and I'm not necessarily knowing what I like, but I'm not in a bad spot, but I'm not in a great spot. That weird middle ground spot.
yeah,
Sometimes that's like just beingness is very boring. I usually use the word boring. And our brains don't like boring because our brains want to find a wants to find a path. The two pathways in a 3D mind are positive or negative. Is it good or is it bad? It's going to go one way or the other. It wants
yeah.
to look, is it good or bad?
I
And
feel
then it follows a
restless, which
spectrum.
that fits that description. It's like a restlessness inside of me.
So the
That
restlessness is really the energy of like, quick, choose which one is it? Is it good or is it bad? Like just put us on a path. Is this quietness calm and good? Oh, cool, we'll follow that. Oh no, is this calm depression? Oh my God, we'll follow that. So the
right.
restlessness that we all have when we're in this space is that we're not used to not defining it. We get to choose not to define. Like I don't know, it's just, I don't know. I'm kind of bored. I'm bored. I'm in a bored spot. Goo is similar. Goo is more on along the lines of like not liking it. Like when I would say goo phase, it was like I'm nothing. But where it sounds like and it feels like where you're at is that boring spot of being,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the brain doesn't like it. So it's
Mm-mm.
trying to define it. And then as much as you want to define it, you're like, I don't know. So you're going to flip back and forth to each extreme. But what the practice is to be like, yeah, I'm just kind of bored and I'm boring and I'm bored of, and that's okay. And train the brain. Yeah. Well, blah would be moving towards negative.
Right.
So it's that, again, it's kind of the neutral, but it's even the neutral unknown. That's why I say boring. But you might
Yeah.
have a better word that resonates. Boring does it for me. Like, God, I'm so bored. And then I'm not bored. I got a shit things, ton of things to do. You're not bored. You have things to do, but it's like an inner, huh? Who am I? What do I want?
Right.
What is
Okay.
this
Yeah.
about? What am I going for? So be mindful of that
Yeah.
space within ourselves that we get to, because we like to define things in positive or negative, favorable or unfavorable, good or bad. And
Do you have any sense of what this Black Panther might have meant?
I would look up the like spiritual, because I don't know offhand the spiritual what's the word I'm looking
Like
for?
symbolism or
But the symbolism, but yeah, what's the, oh my God, it's a word. Um of the panther. But when you have any animal that comes to, and you don't have like, can't like look up what's the spiritual significance of whatever, start to notice the attributes of that animal. So a black panther is sleek, and it's quiet, and it's powerful, and it's,
powerful. That one came to me. That's right. I forgot about that.
yeah,
But it was like it was interesting because it was a calm panther and it was loving and strong. And I remember thinking, oh, it can be loving and strong. So yeah, now that you said that, I just remembered.
see, so your brain, that just shows you right there that your brain's trying to define, is it good or is it bad? Is it powerful? Is it strong? Is it vulnerable? Because there's a baby one. Is it vulnerable? Or
Right.
is it going to tear me up? Like your brain is trying to find the definition. And really the happiest we are as humans is when we're not defining things. Because the defining of character, because if something's good, we define it as good, and then we want to hold on to that, and then we cling to it. And then the minute that good starts to change, then we call it bad. And then we try to cling to the good. So we're constantly trying, that's the whole like Buddhist thing of non-attachment. This premise is basically non-attachment. Like, I'm bored. It is, here we are. This is what it is in this moment. I don't want to define it one way or the other. And a lot of, when I say joy, I don't mean like, jumping up and down, I just won the lotto joy. It's just this like inner, I don't even like the word acceptance. It's just like inner isness that happens, that it's like, oh, cool, I don't have to define anything. This definition of everything is pretty wild. And notice how often we do it for every single thing. Everything. The toothpaste is running low. Oh no, that's bad. I've got to go get another one. To oh my gosh, I have vacation next week. That's good. To every little thing in our day is defined, good or bad, favorable or unfavorable, yes or no. And it's the source of our discontent and clinging. It's pretty wild.
Ooh,
That make
wow.
sense?
Well, so I'm glad you mentioned my name. I was not going to talk, but I'm so glad that I did. That was extremely cool and insightful. Thank you.
Good, excellent. And then look up the significance of the panther, because that's going to be pretty cool, I bet. And it's weird because didn't in Costa Rica, I thought someone had seen a black panther. Didn't I like start that rumor? There was yeah. The person I knew that taught me about Mystica, she said, "Oh my God, someone saw a black panther running through the rainforest," and I'm like, "What? That's so cool! I hope I see a black panther when we're there." And then when we got there, I said, "Oh my God, what about the black panther?" And Lori and Francesco were like, "What black panther? There's no black panthers here." And I'm like, "What? I thought there were panthers." And they're like, "We hope not, because." We don't want panthers, crossing people's paths. And yeah, so I never cleared that up with the person. Her name is Taylor. What Taylor? I need to ask her, what the hell is the panther story? I told a bunch of people we're going to see panthers. We didn't. We saw toucans. We have to accept that. We saw black snake, I think somebody did. So I have a couple of things. What's today? Sunday. Tuesday night is a online gallery for membership. So if anyone can attend, please do. It's right here online. You should have the link in your portal. And I'm not sure if Terry sends the link to members. She probably does because she's pretty thorough, but it'll be either you'll get an email Tuesday morning with the link or it'll just be in your portal. And then our grief transformation group, that's on the 13th. So the following Tuesday. I'll remind you of that on next Sunday. Let me just look through the week to see what else is going on. Those of you going to Costa Rica, there's a couple of you in here. We have a meeting 8 o'clock on this Thursday on Zoom about all of it. So make sure you can attend. And if you can't attend, just let me know that you can't. And I will send you the recording the following day. Let's see, what else? I think that's it for now. Does anyone else have any other events that you know of that are coming up for the group that I'm not mentioning? No? All right, do we feel complete for tonight? All right, so don't forget to take yourselves off of mute to say goodnight to each other, and I will see you all Tuesday or next Sunday.
Good night, everybody.
Good
Good night,
night.
everybody.
Good night, everyone. Have a good week.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.